As we come to Psalm 55 for today, I want to ask you to read the psalm on your own today. It's a long psalm, but I really want to focus on the poem that Julia Seymour writes about this poem, or about this psalm. She entitles it Betrayal. And as you read the psalm, if you need to do that, you can pause it right now. Come back. Okay. As you read the psalm, I want you to think and reflect in two ways. Number one, when you have felt this about somebody else, but also when somebody may have felt this about you. She focuses on verses 20 and 21. My companion laid hands on a friend and violated a covenant with me, with speech smoother than butter, but with a heart set on war, with words that were softer than oil, but in fact were drawn swords. She writes, I pray that the Lord will not let me see my betrayer in the store, because I cannot be trusted not to start a fight in aisle 7 amidst the cereals and breakfast foods. I plead that God will not let me see my false friend when I'm walking down the street, since I cannot be counted on not to shove that one down into the gutter. I beg for divine intervention that I will not see that liar at the party, laughing and telling stories, because I cannot be relied upon to resist a teeth-loosening slap on that smug face. The petty is high right now in my heart, and I wish for cystic acne, a bum knee, a thwarting of plans, a souring of wine, a weed-infested yard, a broken elevator, an inconvenient and permanent itch in the middle of the spine, perhaps, Lord, all at the same time. God, I grieve, and I grieve, and I grieve that I may someday forgive, but it's damn sure I won't forget. The forgiveness, maybe it will be a loosening of the string, an ability to nod in passing, a breath that fills all the space that feels airless right now. I was stabbed, the knife twisted, and now I carry my own insides in my hands, unable to do anything except to be aware of the evidence and pain of the betrayal. Oh God, when will this pain ever end? Will there be any justice for me? Either you avenge me, Lord, or I know that my betrayer will travel on, forgetting me and perhaps hurting another. And still I wake each day, wondering if the prodigal will return. As I shared before reading that poem, I asked you to reflect upon it, both from the perspective of times where maybe you have felt that towards another, but also when another may have felt that towards you. Because it's easy for us to look at those who have hurt us and say, oh yeah, it's just them. They were the ones who did that. They're the ones who do those kinds of things. You know, it's like that saying that, I remember my mom used to say that whenever you point one finger at somebody else, there's several more pointing back at you. In my first congregation that I served, one of the pastors I worked with as an interim shared in the midst of a conflicted situation in the church. He said, the quality of a relationship is always a function of both. And yes, there are some cases where somebody has done something that seems like I had nothing to do with it, and why did they do that to me? Reality is, in a lot of situations, there's things where we can look back and say, okay, what have I done? How did I contribute to this? What are those times where somebody is saying words like these about me, knowing that none of us are perfect? In this crazy time of quarantine and COVID-19 and the wrestlings about what we do now, I want to just simply ask you to give a little grace. give a little grace to one another. People who are wrestling with this in different ways.